Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to your new English lesson. Actually, today is a grammar lesson. We're going to read some useful sentences and to analyze grammar rules for a bit. So the title of this video is Grammar in Action. And it's going live, of course, and I hope that I will help you in some way to understand maybe some of the rules that you have learned before many times, but maybe you haven't used them in everyday conversation, or maybe you haven't used them at all. So you just know the grammar rule, but you don't know how to apply that grammar rule. So I will try to help you with this. So basic grammar, we will revise a little bit of present simple, present continuous tense, present perfect tense as well, past simple, future, some conditionals, different things. And I hope it will be useful for you. Anyway, okay, I will start immediately. I won't waste my time, and I don't want you to waste your time. Okay, I will make myself a little bit smaller. And yes, the first one is, you'd better go to bed at once. You'd better go to bed at once. This is a phrase that you have to learn by heart. You'd better, and then after this phrase you use infinitive form, base form, infinitive form of the verb without to. So okay, we can make some sentences with this you'd better, just in order for you to memorize it and to learn it better and maybe easier. So you'd better go to bed at once. It's like, I think that you should go to bed immediately because you have to wake up early in the morning, and I think the best thing that you can do now is go to bed. So you'd better do that. For example, we can use another subject, so I can say something for myself. Actually this D is shortened from I had, but you will never see it like that. You will use it just like this, apostrophe and D. I'd better eat less chocolate. So I think if I want to lose weight, what should I do? Well, I'd better eat less chocolate. I'd better eat less chocolate. We can use he. So we put he, apostrophe, D, better, and then any word that we want, just we use infinitive form without to. So he'd better study more. So he's not very good at English. So what do you think he could do? I think that he'd better study more. It's better for him to study more. He'd better study more if he wants to pass the exam. So it's like a strong advice. He'd better study more. So you'd better go to bed at once. I'd better eat less chocolate. He'd better study more. And we can use one with plural. For example, we'd better do what? Drink more water. We'd better drink more water. Sometimes I have a headache because I don't drink enough water. So if I want to avoid these headaches, I have to drink a lot of water during the day. And we'd all better drink more water. We'd better drink more water. Okay, so you use the subject, then apostrophe and D, and then this better. So it's a comparative form of good, of the adjective good, better. We always use it like that. With better, and then you put any word that you know that you need to use. Just put it without to. You cannot say with better to drink. No, only infinitive without to. Okay. Hopefully this is clear. And this rule is clear to use, so I will just underline this I'd better, you'd better. So you can use any subject, he'd better, we'd better, and then the base verb. Go, eat, study, drink. Okay. Now we can move on to the next sentence, and that is, Tom lives in the room above us. So Tom lives in the room above us. In this sentence, we have used present simple tense. How do we know that it's a present simple tense? Well, whenever you notice a verb, for example, live, and then you notice something strange, an S, lives, then you know that it is present simple tense. So when we use third person singular, in this case Tom, he, we have to put S at the end of the verb. So Tom lives in the room above us, and Tom eats also in that room, and he sleeps in the room above us. He does his homework in the room above us. So every time when I want to talk about Tom and to say what he does every day or usually or often or sometimes, I have to use present simple tense and I have to put an S at the end of the verb. So Tom lives in the room above us. And this is a simple question. I mean, it is in present simple tense, and that is the tense that you learn when you start with English. When you start learning English, the first thing you come across when it comes to tenses is present simple tense. So I guess you know it already, but let's make this sentence a little bit more complicated. So I now know that he lives in the room above you or above us, but I want to know, for example, when he moved here, when he started living in the room above us. And I want to start my question with how long. So I know that he lives in the room above us, but how long? And now I have to use present perfect tense. So I want to know when he started living in the room above us. So I have to use present perfect tense because it will tell me that something started in the past and it's still going on. So he still lives here. So in this case, with the verb to live, I can use present perfect continuous tense, which would be perfect. So it would be, how long has Tom been living here? But if it is too complicated for you at this moment, you can use present perfect simple, and it will be, how long has Tom lived here? Anyway, usually with the verbs as live, study, work, you use present perfect continuous tense. How long has Tom been living here? For example, I want to ask something about his studies. Then I will ask, how long has Tom been studying? Or about his job, how long has Tom been working here? Or I know, if he smokes, I will ask, how long has Tom been smoking, etc. Anyway, when you start the question with how long, and you want to find out when something started to happen, started to go on, then you have to use present perfect. Now you can choose between present perfect continuous and present perfect simple. Okay, so Tom lives in the room above us. How long has Tom been living in the room above you? If I want to answer this question, I will also have to use this same present perfect simple or continuous tense. So I wanted to say that he started living here like maybe 2 years ago, and since then he has been living in the room above us. So how long has Tom been living here? I will say he or Tom has been living here. And now I have two options. So I can use either since or for. If I know the exact, I don't know, year or maybe month or maybe day when he moved in, I can say since. So I can use since. So he has been living here since, I don't know, March or since 2000. So when I know the exact date, year, month, then I use since. So he has been living here since, and then you can say whatever, since March, since 2000, since yesterday, etc. If you just want to say for how long, you will use for. So he has been living here for 2 years, months, days, whatever. So let's just see how we started. We started with the sentence number 5, and it says Tom lives in the room above us. Here we can also say Tom is living in the room above us. We can use present continuous tense if we want to emphasize that it's something that is temporary.